What's going on, world? It's your boy at Big Game James _36. This Big Games BS part of Dead Media Group. Bunch of catching up to do. Haven't done did one show last week, if I remember correctly. Ripping and running out of town a lot. Then this past weekend was crazy. Had my third annual community giveaway, but we kind of did this little different this year. We had our Jacksonville one. We'll have our Tallahassee one next weekend. We had a bunch of what do we have? We gave 250 bags to my guy Jasper Grimes up in Atlanta. So he did a book bag drive. So we were part of that. We gave 100 book bags to Daryl Jackson. July 23rd, he did a book bag drive back in his hometown of Gaston County, and it just went crazy. We had about 700 cars lined up on Saturday morning to just give. I mean, that was prepared, man. And what was cool about it was not normal, or not normal. I didn't realize this. I'm looking at giving to the community for the kids, but a lot of old people whose social security checks have been slow. A lot of other stuff have come up, and then so we did that, and I mean, man, it was dope. I couldn't believe like the impact. Like it kind of caught me off guard, overwhelmed me a little bit. And I just want to say thank you to everybody who had a part of that. I mean, it was I'm the face, right, wrong, or indifferent, but really it was a community, overall community event. So I mean, we crowdfund at least half of the money that went into that. So that was cool. We had a book bag drive. We had the football camp yesterday. It was pretty good, man. It was hot though. It was real hot. Coach Foy, Andrew Jackson High School. Man, those guys really held the rope, man. Like Coach Foy, like we and this is I'm gonna get into my. It's gonna be a lot of hate o'clocks today. It's gonna be a lively show, but my big hate right now is how we just did an event and not one incident happened. Not one incident, man. Nobody got shot. Nobody got stabbed. Nobody got robbed. None of those things. And what we got was, and I appreciate News4Jax for doing this, and a couple other outlets picked it up. But News4Jax literally took our press release and regurgitated our press release onto their digital side. So it did make that. And I think we got a blip of the flyer on the news. But they talked more about farm share than the other parts of it. And then Marcel Robinson with Action Sports did me a real solid and came out there and covered it. But that was it. And then we had John Durst with Locked In Magazine, who came out there, gave us some, took pictures of the football camp. But nobody really came out there. Forget about me. I don't really care. Well, these young men, we had about 35 in total, right? 35 in total from Andrew Jackson High School. Almost the whole football team, whole varsity squad came out and served. A bunch of young, athletic, testosterone-filled African-American males went out there and did just really kick the stereotype in the ass. And I want to make sure people know that happened and that these young men get their flowers. One of these young men, being Grayson Howard, aka Pup, is one of the top linebackers in the nation. Committed to South Carolina. And he came out there and gave his time. So, I mean, I just want people to know that we're doing that same thing in Tallahassee, trying to work out logistics. If you want, like on Sunday's camp, we got a surprise. Hopefully we're gonna have some real big time celebrities or athletes come out, because come back home we gotta do it bigger. I gotta work out the logistics and the schedules and see what we can do and what we can't do. Try to get some get some approval. But I know they got they have a tight schedule, man. And if I don't want them out there for long. I just want them out there for a little bit. And if I get them there for a little bit, then that'll be dope. So we're gonna see what we can do in terms of that. But that camp was good. I know what we're gonna do next year. I know what the marketing strategy is gonna be. I come up in my mind. Ignorance is what people love. So when we do it next year, I'm gonna have about 5 different people call all the media outlets and tell them that there's a shooting going on at the Harveys on Main Street. And what I mean by that, when they do it, I'm gonna say, "Oh well, no, we're shooting a movie." But like, I want people. But I bet if we said that there was a shooting going on at the Harveys on Main Street, we'll get everybody will be there. And that's on us as a community. We got to hold the people accountable. You can't say like, "Yo, why don't they do this?" Or you can't say, "What about black on black crime?" or "What are people doing for that?" Well, you don't showcase this. This is something that's a deterrent that deters people from doing things. You can't say, "What about this?" Like, the key is they don't show you. And what I've learned is doing this, and a lot of people doing things like, well, shout out to Nolan Carroll. Nolan Carroll, a local kid. Mother was Jennifer Carroll, the first African American that not athletic general, first African American female. Man, what do you call it? I was it governor LG lieutenant governor of the state of Florida, and she doing dope. You know, shout out to Jim. We're gonna have another show come on the Sports Den Network hopefully this week. We'll get that going, make some announcements for that, trying to grow that. Really just trying to just do it big. So into the sporting world and what's going on with that. I see Timmy asked a great question. Timmy, I will be at next Friday's practice. I'll be at Friday's practice, and I will be at I will more than likely be at Saturday's scrimmage in the afternoon. So yeah, I think it's in the afternoon. But yeah, I'll be at those 2 practices. So I'll be talking about that. Then they come over here to Jacksonville, and I will be talking about what I saw at Jacksonville, and we'll be putting it all together. So I'm probably going to get back into writing a little bit more this fall, just because I'm bored. Got some couple of different things, and if I can make sure my health is maintained, I'm gonna work on some different projects too. So, and some different bringing in more content. I got an opportunity with this delivery stuff. I'm probably gonna do a little show called Mailman, so y'all can see what it's like with your delivery drivers. You see what people go through. But moving into what's really been going on in the world, and I really want to I really want to tear into the media part, but it's just really, the more I think about it, it's a moot point and it's a waste of time. But what I can do is talk with these athletes and let them know what they really truly think about you, and let them know what they see, so that they can in turn handle things better. Yeah, that's all I'm gonna say about that. But moving forward, a lot of wildness has happened. So the biggest one of the biggest things that maintain in the news is the shakeup of college football, the Pangea of the conferences, if you would. And what do I mean by that? What I mean is everything is consolidating. And I used to say on with Denny all the time that people can argue all they want, but there's really only 50 schools that can really compete with anybody in the nation, that really have a shot of winning a national championship. And it's looking like it's naturally going down that route. And I love it. That's where it should be. Everybody, see, I call it a capitalist because I believe libertarians are nothing more than Republicans who want to smoke weed. So I can't really call myself that, and because I'm not a Republican or a Democrat, but I am about making the dollar. And I also understand that the only thing that's more American than apple pie is money and the pursuit of it. And I look at this stuff and things ain't fair. I don't ever want anything fair. To quote a Marine's quote, if the battlefield is even, that means somebody did a shitty job of preparing the battlefield. I don't want to even. I just want the opportunity to be able to engage in conflict and be able to come out a winner. It's up to me to make sure that I use my tools and my abilities to make this the best. So I am not interested in equality. I am interested in equity. And that's all it is. So like UCF, well, maybe not UCF. I think UCF is doing some good. UCF is a good example. UCF is doing things to make sure that they're going to be a program that is equitable, that has a chance to win a real national championship and not a fake one. USF, not so much. FAU, not so much. I don't care about them. I don't think that they should have opportunities to be able to do these things. But something that the Pac-12 commissioner said lets me know that he's clueless. And I believe that he's worse than the ACC commissioner. And I hope that the destruction of these two conferences happens at such a rapid pace that it forces everybody to take heed and it forces competence. What the Pac and I really, the best way to do it is by Arizona, which I know they won't. Arizona State, Utah, Colorado, Utah, like the schools that truly give a fuck about sports and football, just say, you know what, this man has lost his goddamn mind. This is what the Pac-12 commissioner said. It's clear that UCLA and USC made a decision for short-term financial gain at the expense of their student athletes. It's 100% clear to me. It's really unfortunate, and I think they are already regretting it, given the pushback that they've gotten from almost every corner of their communities. I think they will regret it more as time goes on. This is like what people tell me about Travis Hunter and him making the biggest mistake. I have never heard anybody say I made $1 million mistake. I would love for the day that I get to make $1 million mistake. There is not a damn thing that they can't get from out of going to the out of making that move to the Big Ten, because we talked about this before. If you go look at Mark Rogers a couple weeks ago, there was a great breakdown of what the Big Ten does, of what the Big Ten can actually mean. From an academic standpoint, from a fiscal standpoint, some of the biggest colleges or some of the best academic colleges are there. USC and UCLA are tremendous academic institutions. Only one that might be better is Cal, and their dumbasses didn't try to make the move either. Probably because they're not big enough brands. But like when you really look at this, like the being in the AAU, having access to the research functions and all these different things really truly makes for just a great overall experience for a student athlete. And for you people who keep saying about the travel, stop that shit. Stop it. You don't give a fuck about the student athlete in this travel. Let me tell you about what I did. My first ever game at Florida State. After my first week of classes, I had no idea. Do you realize I had never been in a class? The biggest class I had before I went to college, I had 30 students in it, and it was PE. My first class at Florida State was Baby Bio. 900 students in Ruby Diamond Auditorium. And then the small class, the little lab that I had to take after that, had 200. I had four classes in a lab. So basically 5 classes. Where the smallest one was like maybe I think 150. But on average, the 200, and that was the lab, but the real class was 250. And I think that was macroeconomics. And that was in the more auditorium, which, you know, now they just made they redid the student union. So it was in the student union. You know what I had to do that Friday? We traveled to Kansas City, Missouri, because we played in the kickoff classic against Iowa State. That was my first week of school, man. I went to the Midwest that same year. We flew to Maryland. That same year, I flew to Louisville. On a Thursday night, I played back-to-back Thursday night games. So you know what happens when you do that? You miss Wednesday, you play on Thursday, so you miss Thursday, and you don't get back until like Friday, so they give you Friday off. I missed 3 days of school. Y'all don't give a fuck about the student athlete. That shit happens, man. Now, with the complaints, you play 8 home games. Literally 8 home games. So they're in LA 8 times. Their rival is UCLA. So that's 9 games they don't leave the state. I mean, leave their city. Fuck the state. So now you got 3 games where you got to go out of town. More than likely. What changes about them? What disadvantage does a student athlete have? Florida State's played USC in LA before. They didn't say nothing about that, and I think they played them during the regular season, so that made it even worse. Travelers travel, man. These cats is chartering planes, eating. They're leaving early. Like it's not like me or you traveling. Like me, I hate traveling. Like I gotta travel. I gotta leave like a couple days before, and I can't come right back after an event. I gotta like get my mindset right. I'm learning now that apparently that's an anxiety thing more than anything else. But I'm saying like it's just what about that? Like so the academic experience is going to be enhanced by being partnered with the Big Ten, more money, and then the student athlete really isn't. It's not a lot changing for the student athlete. What it is it's uncomfortable for you because you're losing. You're about to lose your job, but you're losing your job you're losing your job because you're not any good at it. You're losing your job because you're incompetent. Because if you were competent, what you would be trying to do is the exact same thing that the goddamn Big Ten and the SEC are doing. You would have figured out how to get your people more money. And now you know what that does for USC and UCLA. It gets them on the East Coast, which also helps in recruiting. One of the things that used to, like in my era of recruiting, which actually it changed in my era when they used to put Thursday night football. Boise State and those guys used to come and play games on Wednesday nights so they could be on primetime national TV. So I'm seeing schools that I'd never even heard of in states that I've never even heard of before in Florida. So what that does is that makes sure your goal, you want to play college. You want to go to college. And nobody wants to play and not have their mama see them. Also, nobody wants to play and not go somewhere where they ain't never heard of it before. So you got that going. So now, but the biggest downfall of going to the West Coast is that nobody gets to see you. But now you got one, you can sell that, hey, we're at least coming to the Midwest. And we're coming to, and put on this. Now it's even bigger matchups. You know, every 4 years, you could get that Florida State USC matchup. Florida State UCLA, who've never really, I mean, I think we played at like some Diamond Nut Bowl or something like that a few years ago. Now you add USC Ohio State, USC Penn State. Like that is just marketing this is genius. What you should have done was the Pac-12. You should have went over to the and rated the ACC, or you should be rating the Big 12. But Big 12, here's your opportunity to really get after it. Go take those other schools, man. What the Pac-12 commit, because this is a history. I'm a history major, again, African American studies. A lot of people might learn some things. What the guy basically is stating is that we just lost the lights. What this guy is basically stating is that USC and UCLA suffer from Drapetomania. Drapetomania is not Drake's new album. It is actually a medical condition, a psychological condition that slave owners paid some pseudo psychologists to come up with, saying that is the mindset of an African wanting to be freed. They actually they thought that person was crazy to want to be free. On God, that's legitimate. It's not made up. Google Drape, DRAPE mania. Tomania, however you say it. But they basically said that for a slave to want to run away and not live in the conditions that they are presenting them, they have to be borderline psychotic. And that's what this guy is basically saying. For USC and UCLA to want to leave the Pac-12 to go make $50 million a year more than what they're making in the current situation, they got to be out of their damn mind. And then also what's now kind of coming to a fruition again. I don't know a lot. I know a lot about the little bit that I know. And that's helped me be successful in my life. But when I was telling y'all that Florida State has a better chance of going to the Big Ten, I didn't say it out of a sense of I'm just pulling stuff out my ass. I said it based upon why we brought the athlete, why we had the previous president we had at Thrasher, why we brought the current president that we have, the AD that we have right now, and all the moves line up. And what Florida State wants to do is become a premier research institution from the student side. Now, what we can get from the athlete side that can supplement that is with the Big Ten. That puts us in the AAU, that gives us access to what Northwestern and all these other schools have, and then we're sharing resources. And now we're coming to kick Florida's ass off the field as well. So again, those are the things that people gotta, pay attention to that are fine-tuned details that a lot of guys don't really recognize. So we'll get into more FSU and not USC and Jaguar related content as we get a little bit closer. Jags are in training camp right now. I didn't get a chance to go. I was ripping and running everything. All eyes right now are on getting these kids book bags. So if you still want to donate, please donate. Check out the Twitter, check out all the different stuff. Right now, any spillover goes to the STEM camp that we're going to have at the end of the month, virtual STEM camp, which is going to be dope as well too. So it'll be plenty of content, plenty of stuff. I may or may not have tackled a Panamanian kid yesterday. Again, it's full contact. My kid got hit. My 3-year-old got laid out. We bang at these camps, man. This ain't for the faint at heart. This ain't for the softies. Matter of fact, again, man, fuck them kids is how we originally started this shit. So, just to make sure you guys know. So, major headline, shout out to Deebo Samuel, shout out to DK Metcalf. Both signed really, really good deals. DK probably got paid a little bit more than what he should have been paid. And Deebo probably didn't get what was necessarily his. I think he should have got a little bit more, but either way, they're getting paid nonetheless. I want to say this. This is the thing that everybody's really been having a strong opinion on. And I want to preface this first by saying I have a hard time worrying about one penis, let alone other people's. And I have to worry about my 2 sons because they're under my control and under my care. But sports is about entertaining me. I don't care if they're a good person or not. I don't think you guys have realized that yet. And that's not just me. That's you and you too. You don't care about these people personally. You know it. You just feel like I don't know where we like turned in life to where everything has to be a moral compass. Some of the people who built America were terrible people, but we built statues for them. They're rapists, stealers, killers, all that. And like matter of fact, the school I went to, Andrew Jackson, that I did my camp at. Andrew Jackson was a bold ass racist that killed a lot of Indians and that lived the battle shit. Like, why the hell do y'all believe that? Like, that's the hit right there, Miles. Why do y'all believe that these people are just nice? That you have to be super nice? Well, I don't, whatever. But
I mean, they usually not just surely for the amount of focus they have to put into their sport. How could they be sociable?
Right. And I'm gonna be honest with you, we're all weird.
Yeah.
It's something wrong. Like, hey, me too. When I say we all, like me, like I hit little kids. Like that's shout out to all dudes. EJ is a dope kid. EJ is my guy. EJ's half Panamanian, just like my sons. And he plays. It was a good catch, very good. I don't know who the other kid is. He's okay too. I actually ran through a kid to tackle him. And it doesn't look as bad as what it seems. You gotta go check it on YouTube, check it on my social media. I was carrying a tumbler with water or whatever we call. Was it? I forgot. Whatever. I had my water in my hand, and when I hit him, the water splashes up, so it looks like the sweat got knocked off the kid. It didn't. No children were hurt, and then the kid just disrespectfully he grittied. He
came off the camera.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a double pass. It was a really good, very well drawn up play. Quarterback probably could have thrown it a little bit better, but had the quarterback thrown it better, it probably would have been intercepted. So, good, bravo to him. But again, that's a good kid. Athletes aren't. It's not our. It's athletes' job is not to raise your kids. Charles Barkley said it best. I'm not a role model. Some of us are. But what I want you to realize is that I'm my son's role model. And that's a theme in America that we've seemed to shift it away from.
Right.
Raise your own goddamn kids.
Right.
Like, who cares? Like, I promise. Like, what they're learning in school is way again. I'm waiting on a lesbian talk. I can't wait for it. I want to learn. They're not learning kill whitey material. They're still learning that Columbus sailed in 1492. Columbus sailed the ocean blue, which we know he didn't discover America because there were people here, and there were a ton of people who came here before him. Hell, if you want to keep the purity of it all, the Vikings came here well before him. It's a lot of stuff that we learn about, like George Washington told lies. He didn't chop down that cherry tree. It's a lot of things that they're learning still that are bad, that aren't real. We learn about, like, again, slavery is taught like it was America going through its pre-hormonal years. A bad day at summer camp. But you're okay with that. And that's actually taught. But you're not okay with the things that aren't even like being taught that you got to pass laws for. But regardless, if you were actually raising your kids, helping them do the homework, going to class and volunteering, you would know this shit. But I bring all this up to say is you sit back, you allow TV, athletes, and celebrities to be the ones who raise you and your kids. And that's why you have such a hard time with the Deshaun Watsons of the world, what you perceive the Jalen Ramseys of the world, and a lot of these other guys, as opposed to teaching these kids, hey, this is a coachable moment. Now, my son doesn't know about it. My son knows I get massages. I get a massage damn near every week. Some of you may think that's excessive. Kind of is, but it's also self-care. Like I'm messed up. I don't like a lot of people touching me though, so I gotta get comfortable. It's an intimate moment. It's it's another person, because the way they get up in there, they get close, and it's just like I would tell my son if he played quarterback, I want you to be like Deshaun Watson as a quarterback.
That last part.
As a quarterback. I would tell my son, I want you to play ball like Jalen Ramsey. I'll tell him I don't need you to be that sassy, though. Yeah. But Jalen is very, very extremely talented. I would tell my son that it's so, like, again, I like Murder Ray. I read his whole story. I loved everything about what Murder did. I try not to kill people. I've done a pretty good job for 38 years. I haven't killed no bodies on my resume with that. You can tell somebody, be like this person, be motivational, just try not to kill people. So when we come out here and they have these think pieces, because this is what I want people to realize. Nobody, and they always revert back to nobody knows. So when you say that, why are you so strong on making this one person the guilty party? We don't know. It's not criminal. It's civil, which actually, to be honest with you, civil, for the judge to say what she came down and for those who don't know, the judge came down and said that their suggestion is that Deshaun Watson get a 6-game suspension and only receive massages from Cleveland Brown staff. Which the fact that an adult male needs to be told that is hilarious. Like, you can't get massages from Massage Envy anymore. You have completely messed up that right. You can approved Cleveland Brown employees can only be the ones that's rubbing on you and touching you. Don't you go get that. Don't you go get rubbed on at the poker room. Don't you go get rubbed on at the airport. No, those are unauthorized. If we see that, we're suspending you and fining you. And people are in an uproar. And what they're doing is using false equivalencies, which is somehow the American way. You did that shit with Brittany Griner, and congratulations, Brittany, on being free. I wholeheartedly believe that weed is not something you should go to jail for, but don't go to jail. Don't do stupid shit in foreign countries, and you ain't got to worry about that. Like a teacher actually did the same thing, and she got sentenced to 14 years, and I bet you she ain't coming home. Like right after you. That's the fucked up part. And it's a woman. And nobody's going out there saying protect women. Whatever. It's legal and illegal. And not just illegal or illegal. There's a code of conduct that you sign with businesses that has clear things, and then there are more gray area things. I believe now Deshaun Watson will probably have the NFLPA and owners having a more clear code of conduct when it comes to getting rubbed and tugged. But there wasn't. There's no law or rule that states I can't go get a massage from a different woman every day. There's no law that says I can't have sex with a different woman every day, as long as it's consensual. And the one thing that is, and the one egregious thing that the New York Times posted, and this is the message that I keep trying to tell people. If he shot his shot and he sprayed this lady with his juices, leche, if you will, he needs to go to jail. Right. I don't need him sued. You can sue him too. You can get him in civil now. You can do both. He needs to be. That is sexual assault, and this man needs to be in the jail. He needs to be under the jail. He's a menace to society. The problem is none of them have proven it. Numerous of those women called him back and said he was a great person. Said they would love to call his family, told their family stuff. So what you guys don't understand about depots is you got to put it all out there. And then I go and I research your phone records. I go look at your emails. I look at all the contact that you've had with me. And you got to explain. It's a reason they didn't want this to go to trial. Deshaun didn't want to look bad, but them women, it's only one way to defend yourself for this. You got to put all the holdings out. And the problem is, like I always say on this show, this is a horse safe place. We're a horse safe place. You got to put the space in there too. Yeah. It was locked and a broad. I want people to know that we were clearly deliberate with that. This is a horse safe space. I don't care about all of that different stuff, but a lot of y'all like to try to mask and pretend that you aren't what you are. And I'm sorry. If I come into a room, Miles is my producer. Miles is good. Me and Miles are close, I think. Yeah. But I come in and I see Miles butt ass naked. I'm not going to ask any questions. You know what I want to immediately do? I'm going to turn my ass around and get the fuck out of here. I'm just not apt to seeing dicks just swinging around. That's not my thing. So I'm like, the same woman suing Deshaun. I'm working at P Valley on weekends. I've never seen that show, but I definitely know the reference though. It's like again, okay, then you can tell me, well, maybe they were enamored by the celebrity. Well, stop being that's the problem. Yes. Stop being enamored by these are regular ass people, man. Athletes and entertainers act the way they do because you give them the green light to normal people. Treat them like that. But again, there is no law that says it's illegal to be weird. And that's what he is. I am full agreement with you that Deshaun Watson is a weirdo. But I promise you, if we go through there, you'll find a lot of weirdos. And I mean, again, if you can afford it, that's what I tell people. So I've said this, right? Why would that kid go get that Porsche and drive 100 miles per hour? Why would he do this? Why would I was like, man, you're young, you got because you can afford to do it. Yes, no, you would. One, nobody wants your old crusty ass. So you couldn't get massaged by 72 women in 2 years. But you also can't afford it. Sometimes you just do shit because you can. And I'm not saying that doesn't mean it's right. My job is not to say, I am not judge, jury, or executioner. But I have the common sense to know, I know enough about law to know what's not going to fly. And when I always say, what illegal did Deshaun Watson do? Can you tell me what criminally did Deshaun Watson do? And everybody unanimously, they can't, all they do is give opinions on morality. Right. And morality is loose. I wish morality was consistent across the board, but it's not. We're not as good of people as we think we are. We all have depravity. We all have something that's weird to somebody. I promise you. I saw a dude on Twitter who has his name is Deacon. They were talking about we talked about on the Wednesday show, I think. We talked about group sex. This man goes on every other page and talks about Christianity and church and this, that, and the other. And he talks about, how he was into group sex, but then his wife wasn't, his current wife wasn't. And then he said something like, but ain't God good? I'm like, where the fuck did God come into that? Like, why? Why the guy's over here minding his business over here, watching people get tormented and put into slavery, and now you're talking about group sex, messing up his day. But the problem, so that's the biggest problem in all of this is the false equivalencies. And what does that mean, James? That means you're trying to compare. You think you're comparing apples to apples, but it's really not even apples to oranges. It's apples to cucumbers. Like you're in a completely different. Like you left fruits and you went to veggies. So they're talking about. Okay, let me get my guy's name up here. Everybody's saying Deshaun only got 6 games. Yet, damn, my dog just told my dog call me about it. Yet, this wide receiver, and his name's gonna come to me here in a second. He got suspended for an entire season for he got suspended for an entire season for gambling. You know what is clearly in the code of conduct for players? Gambling. It basically says thou shalt not gamble on any game, in particular games that you're playing in, because there's a lot that can go wrong in that. The best player to ever play baseball is arguably Pete Rose. He's still not in the Hall of Fame because of that. And he gambled saying he's going to win. You can't gamble. It's clearly in there. It's like, you know how you guys love to talk about the Bible and Jesus' words is in red print? If I go look at my conduct, it's probably in red print. Bold, at least. Don't fucking gamble. And I'm with you. Again, is it stupid? Extremely stupid. Extremely stupid. I agree. I have no argument with you there. That being said, when you signed the contract, it fucking was there. You could see it. He didn't go in saying, oh, I didn't know I couldn't gamble on myself. It's clear. I played with a guy, Adrian McPherson, completely changed the trajectory of Florida State football, as I believe I would have won 2 national championships if AD was our quarterback. AD gambled. Got kicked out of school, never played at a high level in Power 5, so talented, still got drafted, was Arena Football Player of the Year at one point. But AD broke the rules. Were they stupid? Yes. But that's the rules. He broke it. He knew it. He went into it knowingly. The comparison is Ben Roethlisberger and Ezekiel Elliott. Oh my God. Big Ben was out there. Big Ben was actually raping bitches. Didn't get didn't get charged. The women settled out of court. He got 6 games. Zeke punching DJs in the middle of Dallas. Didn't get any charges, got 6 games. I believe Ray Rice was gonna get like 3 until they saw him Ayukin his wife. Because this is his wife now. He knocked the Sonic coins out of her ass. And then what was worse about it was he knocked her ass out and didn't even try to like, oh my God, what did I do? Let me come here, Snookums. Let me pick you up and carry you. This motherfucker drug her by the feet into the elevator. I was like, that's why he should be suspended. But what it's not like is the guy who plays basketball for the Hornets, who beat the shit out of his baby mama, ex-wife.
The wide receiver you're thinking about?
Yeah, Ridley was the wide receiver. Yeah. Appreciate that, Jim. Oh yeah, this is the camp shirt. So my bad. So this is what we give into the jits for people who said it when try to figure out what I'm rocking. I'm not that vain. I'm wearing this on purpose for marketing for next weekend's camp. I don't like wearing stuff that says my name on it. It's weird. But I told them I don't even want it to say J. It was supposed to say MFTK camp, but some of you people don't understand that there's a duality in everyone. There is the MFTK part of, there's the man fuck them kids part of me, and then there's the mentors for the kids part of me. Just like there's the part of Deshaun Watson that just likes getting rubbed and tugged, and there's the good quarterback. Typically, it's Denny Thompson has this thing called the turd to talent index. It's like, is your talent enough to outweigh your turd? And apparently the Browns think so. But I need y'all, again, false equivalencies don't do anything but make you feel like you sound smarter, and then you're caping. Like, you're trying to sound important to the opposite sex, and I promise you, it's not. I'm let me tell you why it's not helping you being this Captain Kirk. Deshaun's still getting hoes. You're not. Sans ho, as the French would say. Like, that's why we had this episode be goodish.
Yeah.
Hey, now Deshaun's I don't want to say Deshaun's an ass. I just say Deshaun has an interesting way of going about life. And I don't agree with it, but I can't knock it. Again, I have an excessive amount of shoes. I don't really know what to tell you. Like, everybody has something that people probably can feel like you shouldn't have that. And I'm like, whatever. Like, person put, if Deshaun was a random second string nickel corner, he'd never play another down in the league, probably. And it's really who. Let me see what this person. Yeah, yep, exactly what I thought. Some fat double chin pilgrim that doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about. Nobody describes shit like that. Like, imagine you at a club, you at the bar. Hey man, what's up, man? Hey man, you play for the Jags? Yeah, I play for the Jags. I am a random second string nickel corner. Like, nobody says that. They just say, like, yeah, I'm a corner for the Jags. Maybe a fourth or fifth string corner, special teams guy, and you get play in nickel situations. Nobody just goes around. What's your? I'm nickel corner. That's the problem with you fucking pencil neck ass media people. I'm gonna pick on. That's my gripe with you. I'm not gonna do it on this show, but I'm coming at you guys' neck because you guys are fucking up the game for us people who actually know stuff. So now I got to explain stuff like this. But what I responded to this person is, if he were an NFL owner, it'd be news for a week, and then nobody else would talk about it outside of obscure jokes. Everybody talks about him, and nobody talks about Bob Kraft getting 3 fingers in his ass and paying for a massage. Clearly, it's done. But then again, Bob Kraft freed Meek Mill. So, I mean, maybe all things are forgiven. Who Meek Mill has arguably one of the greatest hip-hop anthems of all time. It really stirs something in your soul. I used to pray for times like this, to rhyme like this, so I could stop like that, and shine like this, and matter of some time. I don't even know. You ain't got to know the words. You could just do the, like, I've seen the whitest of white and the hoodest of hood come in. That's racial harmony. Meek Mill. That's why we needed to free Meek. It took Britney got freed quicker than Meek got freed, and he actually had something that we all like. And none of y'all watching, and none of y'all still watch the WNBA game. Another thing going on. Oh man. Shoot, that made me took me off. That last comment took me a little bit off track, but yeah. Oh, yeah. Deshaun. Oh, getting to my Hater Clock. Hater Clock brought to you by Green Acre Sporting Goods. Green Acre Sporting Goods, go to outdoor shop. Get everything you need. Crossbow, gotcha. You could be a felon with a crossbow. Not necessarily sure I want that information out there. Not sure why I said that, but you don't have to pass a background check to get a crossbow, and you can shoot somebody 100 yards away. In Atlanta, funny story. Went to go see my homegirl Nakia. She took me and my sister to the. She invited us over to the crib. Ate some good wings, fire wings. Nikki lives in Atlanta. Is a beautiful place. I hate Atlanta normally. I went there this time for the first time in my life. I was like, man, I would move the entire family up here. Like if I was a rich man, I'd be like, family, side family, mama, sister, everybody. We having a family meeting. We moving to Atlanta. Outskirts of Atlanta, not the city, but like the money they put in sports is dumb, bro. Like my boy Grimes was telling me about it, and then we went to Nikki's crib, and Nikki's got a gorgeous daughter she's 13 going into 7th grade, mini cat. And this is about the time when the boys get a little fresh. And I told her because we have what people don't know is like the FSU community, especially Black alumni, is very close knit, especially if you were somebody. And you got uncles and aunties in cities that you probably don't even know. It's people who know who you are. If you're a kid, I'm gonna tell you this shit's scary because it happens to me in Tallahassee still to this day with my mom and my daddy. It's people who know you that you don't even know you, and they watching. So I told Minicat, I said, listen, we were talking about radio. And I said, hey, all you gotta do is let me know when you go out somewhere. You never know. I might be 100 yards away. All I need you to do is this, and boom, that's a sign. They won't never see it coming. So shoot them with a crossbow from 100 yards away. Just pop. Just say, you do this, baby, and then duck. That's all you need to do. just make sure you don't get hit. And then she was just like, so she said, and then I realized some of the stuff that I say is kind of wild without thinking about it. And I don't really mean it like that. The only person wilder than me that I would look at crazy is Channing Crowder. I told her, she's like, well, what do you do? And I said, well, I talk and people pay me in guns and money. And I looked at her and she was just like, is there any more to that? And then Nikki came in and said, there's context to that, sweetie. He's not just relax. But I'm like, but for real, if you need somebody to get hurt, we can make that happen. And that can happen at Green Acre Sporting Goods. But make sure you're defending yourself because they are not held liable to you being a stupid motherfucker with a gun. Go get your Glocks, get your your Taurus 380 pump shotguns. They still have let me go look up this thing because I know a lot of you people are just like, it's not going in the assault rifle. Blah blah blah. It's called blah 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 blah. And I'm like, man, dude, nobody knows that shit as that. We all know it as goddamn assault rifle. Everybody has nicknames, but trying to figure out the correct name so I can start saying it. Armalite rifle. That's it. You can get your Armalites there. You can get bullets, which is the most important thing. But holla at my guys Z and them. Do good work. You need safe storage and all that other stuff. 2 crazy things happen, and they're both female related. And one is a little bit more positive, so I'll end it on that note. Another one is just dumb, and I don't understand this. This new city girl. One, okay. And before I do that, I'm gonna shout out a beautiful woman in relation. So what I saw, and me and my boys stopped. We were talking about. We talked with Coach Ford and Mama Ford. I don't know Mama Ford's real name, but Mama Ford is dope. Everything that Coach Ford do, she doing too. She in a golf cart. She passing out waters. She was doing everything. You would have thought it was her nonprofit that was doing this event. It is a thing of beauty. I'm telling you, women, I don't know how long they've been married, but if you want to be married for a long ass time, go study under Mama Ford. Don't listen to these new bitches.
Oh, please don't.
Go listen. I don't even know if Mama Ford know how to cook, but I know this. What I saw Mama Ford doing, She ain't got to do not a damn thing. I know Coach Foy makes sure she's taken care of. So I want to say that. Because these new women, I don't know what this entitlement that you guys have is or what y'all think is going on. And I also don't understand the men too. Because, like, all right. So what happened is another instance. Every week we see some chick get flued out somewhere without understanding that nobody in the world is that nice. I don't know if you don't have a good relationship with your father or your brothers or your uncles, but we would all tell you, if I fly you to where I'm at, there is an expectation that adult relations will happen. Now, if we see each other and we do not vibe, that's cool. But if you come in and you already in the mindset that you was just coming to relax, I don't know who raised you. Like, who told you that this was part of the game? And you can call me whatever you want to call me. I personally, like, if there was a thing I put on my IG, if a cougar flew me to somewhere, you know what I think is gonna happen? What I think that cougar expects? I think she expects some young pipe.
Yep.
And if she flew me out, gets my hotel and feeds me, gives me nourishment, I feel like that's just a good gesture to like give her some good pipe that if I can give it to her. Like if something wrong with you, then I get it. But like if you got it, give it. Or you could have stayed your ass home. Or here's a real thing: fly your own, pay your own way out there.
Yeah.
Like I don't understand where y'all think everything is free. Nobody is that nice. Not even Jobs. When Jobs fly you out as an interview for them to hire you, you got to do something to show them. And like, so the girl got mad, and there's just all kinds of think pieces. Women saying you broke, you blah blah blah, you ain't this, blah blah blah. Man, your ass got flown out on goddamn Spirit. You should have known it was something already interesting about this. I don't care who you are. If I see you fly out on Spirit, I'm turning the car around. You can pay your own way. But if you say, yeah, come pick me up, my flight's where Spirit, I don't even know where the Spirit stuff is at Jacksonville. Just pay your own way if you're not going to give up nothing. Or don't go. And then men, stop doing this too. Because you're making the whole whatever we are look stupid. Like, have these conversations before you invest. Stop letting these women finagle you into free trips and gifts. At least know that you're not getting into something. And I think the dumbest thing he did was drive her back to the airport. Nah, you're going to Uber your independent ass back over there. They ain't finna do what I look like. That's a problem. I look like my name is J. My initials are JAC, not ATM. Everybody earns it. Everybody earns in my family. Like, ain't nobody just getting like just free trips, man. What the fuck you think you is, man?
It's psychological.
$40 is $40. You know how many $40 is in 200 for a Spirit flight? That's $5. You can go to DR, you can get everything you want. That is the part that trips me out. For what some of y'all want, a man can actually go live his best life and fly to the DR and get whatever he wants. Get to the Build a Bitch workshop. And not only get what he wants, but get somebody who is not lazy and not trying to make them do all the work and not trying to give a headache. Because nobody, I'll tell you this much, nobody who works over 40 hours a week wants to come home to headaches and arguments. I don't know. Again, this is not no pro man podcast. This is not a pro woman podcast against one. I'm just saying in general, guys, I don't understand where you guys are thinking about how you guys are coming to the conclusions that some of you guys are coming to, because the statistics and the numbers just do not add up unless you're just scamming or you're in the 1%. And, my boy Charles Walker says, and this could be true. It looked like a skit. And that one could be a skit. The problem is, this happens every week. There's a chick who went to Dubai and wrote this horror story about what happens to them, the men who fly you to Dubai. Like, you basically, they flying you in to get some work, to make some things happen, man. They're not flying you in to talk about the weather. I say all that to say is, man, like, just pay your own way. learn the people before. Like that's the other thing. Learn who you're going to see. You should know. You should already have a level of comfort before you even go see this person, right? Like, y'all, this is how you get kidnapped, man.
Right.
You fly to another city, and then you're God. Then you're at the mercy of this person. Like, what if he did take you to the room? What if he did beat your ass and try to take you? And I'm not saying he would have been right. He would have been 100% wrong. Do people even know where you were at? I tell my sister this sometimes. Like y'all, some of y'all be in such a rush to prove that you're equal or independent that you put yourself in a bad spot where people can't even, the people who actually do care for you can't even protect you. If they wanted to, then scream, protect Black women. How? You don't tell me shit. How can I protect you if I don't know where you're at?
You're right, though.
I've told people this. I would never even deal with a woman whose father doesn't give me the talk, who doesn't look at me like that. Now, eventually, now if he keeps doing that, then that's a problem. But like, let me know that bitch is important to you. Like, that's what some of y'all be. Y'all be with people. Y'all so secretive because you're afraid to let that, like people haven't been whores before you. Like, this is new. Your grandmama got plastic on the couches because she's a squirter. Her and your granddad have been doing freaky shit their whole life, man. Her and Mr. Paul, that's always coming to fix stuff. That's a side. That's a side dude. Granddaddy got a whole family on the other side of town. Like, y'all act like this is new, and this is where I'm going to get into with my other part of my 8 o'clock. I love Florida Agriculture and Mechanical University. I love FAMU. I love Black cultures. I love HBCUs to death. What I don't love is the fact is this perception that folks have to give off that everything is so holier than thou, or so appalled by what is going on right now. Sometimes you got to realize when these kids do stuff, they're screaming for attention and you're giving it to them. Whether you think, again, morality is selective. You may feel like it's the worst thing in the world, but the kid got what they wanted to get. So there was this young lady that graduated with her master's from Florida from FAMU, and she worked really, really hard. Master's in education as well. She had a bachelor's in communication from FIU when it got a master's in education. She went and I'm trying to make sure I click on this so I can do it the right way. She went and took a picture at the FAMU snake, which everybody all of a sudden is like, how can you take a picture at our iconic historic statue? Bitch, that shit ain't been up for 2 years. I grew up on FAMU campus. That shit ain't there. But she took it, she was butt ass naked.
Oh.
Now, one thing I'm gonna say is I appreciate you. Matter of fact, I'm gonna give her flowers while she can smell them. Tarika Star, you are appreciated. It's on IG. This girl is curvy. She's thick. She has a master's in counselor education, a bachelor's in communication. She has 16.8 thousand followers. You know what she also has? A rap album. She's an aspiring rapper. So what do aspiring rappers do? They do things to be able to create content, to create to generate things that are coming up. One of my favorites right now, not she's not a thought, but you know, I like Meg Thee Stallion can twerk a little bit. I love it. And what if FAMU people?
Oh,
it wasn't, that snake wasn't on there.
Oh,
but it was there. You can see the cheeks. What FAMU alum did is they went to Twitter, they went to Facebook. You wouldn't. Then they made it. You would not do that at a PWI or take that. Don't do that. How dare you betray the university? We're so embarrassed, man. Let me tell you something about you FAMU people. Again, this is coming from a guy who crawled in Pocahontas Village, grew up in FAMU, was a ball boy for FAMU basketball. That's how I know that shit wasn't that snake wasn't there, because it's in front of the new basketball arena that actually has air conditioning. I remember Gaither Gymnasium that didn't have no AC. You picked, because she got a whole bunch of other pictures that one right there was it.
For real.
You picked to highlight that one picture. And she talks about being promiscuous and taking pictures like that. It is girls on OnlyFans taking pictures with FAMU colors and paraphernalia, and they got 3 different types of semen on their face. And that's not embarrassing. You had a national story where somebody died because they were hazed from the band. The band. Now, granted, the Macho 100, the cold ass band. But what I'm saying is that a beautiful conversions girl taking a picture in front of a fucking snake, that's the most embarrassing thing to your university?
And you said she's academically established.
She graduated. It is not even so much, because what are they going to do? You're going to take it? You're going to take it out? You're going to take her degree? So what? So what? Now she's going to sue you. And you know what people are going to talk about more? This shit. And what makes me mad is every person from an HBCU with this fake ass chip on your shoulder, when you're so proud, you see, I'm so glad I'm at FAMU singing glory, but you won't support your athletes in the NIL. You won't support your university when they need to raise funds. You're so out that you'd never be, that you're in. All you want to do is rep the colors. But now you mad? This is what makes you mad? And you know what happens? The algorithm points you right to what you want to see. And this is what pisses me off. Because your dumbasses don't know how you got played. Why the fuck does she want to be a rapper? Why does everybody want to be a rapper? Anyways, I digress on that shit. But she wants to be a rapper. She got the attention she wanted. She got the streams. Maybe there's some other stuff going on with her. I don't know, but I could tell you straight up that this was a ploy. It was a marketing strategy, and it worked. That's all you talked about for the last 3 fucking days. And then some of the people who got to make the decision on, I've seen you with a palm full of ass. I know you people. That's the problem. It's some of y'all going on social media talking like we don't know you. I know you. We know you like ass. We know you like showing your ass. The problem is, stop acting like you ain't seen ass before. You act like a prude, and you wonder why these kids don't want to talk to you. And the other part of it is you act like you're not predictable. One of the things, the first thing I said when that happened, I was like, damn, that's what I need to do to get people to realize the positive that I do in the community? I'm going to that same snake on Friday when I get there, and I'm stripping butt ass naked and taking a picture in front of the guy. We're going to have 2 snakes there. Maybe that'll get you to come to my goddamn social media and sign up and get some of these book bags. Like, y'all so, whoa, oh God, I can't believe she did that. That's the most embarrassing thing. Bitch, man, y'all, the most embarrassing thing? Because we got some embarrassing shit. Had you ignored it, it would have gone away. And here's what the real issue is with that. And my guy Chuck Hobbs, who's one thing I give my guy Chuck Hobbs is Chuck older than me. That's my OG. Love him to death. But Chuck isn't a rigid person that doesn't at least listen and see the bigger picture sometimes. Okay, well, damn, I might have got hoodwinked on that. Chuck made that post. It's not lost upon me that the same weekend that a 25-year-old woman graduated with a PhD in physics from FAMU, a PhD in physics at 25 years old, that a nude photo of a 24-year-old woman who graduated with a master's in education is what garnered more headlines and viral clicks. You know what you should have been saying? Congratulations to the girl who's 25. I don't even know that girl's name. Congratulations to the young lady who just graduated with a degree in physics. Congratulations to her. This is what our university is about. You show the positive. You big up what you want people to see. This thing right here, what you're listening to me on, whether it's StreamYard, whether it's SoundCloud, Apple Podcast, whether it's YouTube, whether it's Facebook, Twitter, IG, whatever you're listening to us from, it picks up and it shows you what you like, what you consume. So when people say I got to take a break from social media, it's too toxic. No, what you need to take, you can't take a break from yourself. Your friend, it's something in you. It's your circle. It's what you watch. It's not even what you don't know about these phones. It's your search history. So a lot of you people say I keep seeing gay shit. I'm just saying. Why do you keep seeing it? I don't see it. But then again, I don't that's not my stuff. You don't big up the positive, and that's why your world is negative. And that's just the wildest part in all of this, man. I love FAMU to death. I'm actually having my football camp on FAMU's campus at FAMU High. You have a lot of things that you could have actually bigged up this weekend. A lot of things that you could have actually, really chose to focus in on. That's what the PR's job is to do. When something negative comes in, you address it, and then you really heavily pump the positive stuff. More people know about Tarika than you know who Isaiah Land is. Isaiah Land is the defending defensive player of the year at FAMU. It's because and I'm going to be honest with you. I know why. It's no secret. I'm a man just like all y'all, and women like this too. That girl's fine as shit. She got a good, nice ass. Who don't like a nice ass? That's why you go to HBCUs. Hell, you recruit guys that based off of that. And now it's a problem. I tell you, one of the things that the older generation could do so much better to help the younger generation is to stop acting like you don't have flaws. Stop acting like these things didn't happen under your watch. And what happens is if you start acting like it's more common, and just like, oh, okay, that's what you were doing. Whatever, man. We did that stuff in the 80s, ain't nothing. And you start ignoring it, you know what starts happening? The kids stop trying to get your attention that way. If I ever see something gay that I don't, or something that I don't like, something that's outside of what I want to raise my sons as, and I don't have no problem with anything. I actually make the joke that they can do whatever they want to do. Trey owes me James Anthony Coleman the fourth, though. You better get me that first. But when I see something, I don't make a big deal of it. You know what happens when I make a big deal of it? They wonder why I did that. And now they ask questions, or they try to keep doing that to try to get that attention that you didn't show before. Make viral the things that you want to see every day. And this shit stops. Everybody who's in entertainment saw it. Only the people who aren't in entertainment didn't. And you know what? You can have as many convocations or whatever that mess is that y'all do about the praying and all that shit. That ain't gonna stop none of this, man. Because there was women doing wild shit well before that. That's why you had Poker Home Village, because some of them students was fast as hell, including my mom and my daddy. So, I mean, it's just I love it. I love y'all to death. We just have to do a better job of big up and what we want to big up. So hopefully we'll have a show again on Wednesday. We'll keep things moving. Please share this with the Book Bag Drive, JamesColemanGivesBack.com. Please go support it. Had somebody who actually drove up, had to go back from Tampa to come to the camp. Somebody drove to Tallahassee thinking that this was the only weekend. I told him we have it the next weekend, man. It's all this is free. We are still raising funds for people who want to give back, but like we're gonna put it on our social media. But when I said, man, to see them damn cars, man, like that was waiting, bro. It was wild, man. That shit was bananas. I want to shut down Bond Community for positive. I want to have 200 kids at that football camp for positive. And let's show out, man. Let's do it big for the city. And again, if I need to, and I'm not opposed to being naked if that's what helps, but I would prefer not to. I prefer not to have to get naked to get your attention, because again, that's what these kids are clamoring about. You want to see positive, support what you want to see on your timeline every day. Share it, tell your friends about it, talk about it, and that's how you're gonna get the change. If not, it's gonna get worse, or worse to you. I mean, again, but then again, I live in a world now where I make money off of alcohol, guns, and tobacco. And one of my business partners runs strip clubs. Tarika, if it doesn't work out in education, if you can twerk, if you throw that ass in a circle, inbox us. I love HBCU grads. So all right, man. See you guys later. Thank you for chopping it up with me. Peace.